You're watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey here once again with some Day 3 Combine winners and losers. That's defensive linemen, both ends and tackles, the pass rushers, and linebackers. And oh my God, these guys are stupid fast. Before we break down the winners, some of which are quite obvious, do you want a post-Combine NFL mock draft, perhaps on Mock Draft Monday, for example? If you do, like the video right now. Let's begin with the most obvious winner at the NFL Combine in a very long time. That is defensive lineman Jordan Davis. To sum up his Combine performance, holy shit. Jordan Davis at 6'6" and change, 341 pounds, ran a 4.78. What you see right here is the relative athletic scores. Factors in which drills matter a little bit more for various positions, and size, of course. It adjusts for the size that is so impactful. Jordan Davis's 40-yard dash is in the 99th percentile, 9.9, among all defensive linemen, while coming in the 97th and change percentile for weight. This is obscene. To put this in perspective, adjusting for weight, the only better tester among NFL Combine history is Calvin Johnson. That's what we're talking about here with this obscene level of production from an athletic standpoint out of Jordan Davis. Now, the questions as to, okay, now, why didn't he produce more as a pass rusher? Why was he a part-time player? Those are all still out there. That's all still very valid stuff. But when you got that level of athlete, you can't not take that guy in round one. Jordan Davis's Combine is absolutely one for the history books. And to put this even more in perspective, we're not done with Georgia defensive linemen, by the way. Devonte Wyatt, the other Georgia defense, who some people, film-wise, understandably so, liked him more than Jordan Davis because he was more impactful as a pass rusher. He was also awesome. 6'3", 304, ran a 4.77. It is nutty what this Georgia defense had because we're still not done. How about Travon Walker? By the way, these three guys who are your core, defensive linemen, probably not even the best one at Georgia. There's a guy named Jermaine Carter next year who's going to be like a top 5 pick. Walker, also absurd, with, by the way, 35.5-inch arms, 6'5", 272, a 4.51. It is obscene what Georgia had on the defensive line. If I ask you, hey, who was your favorite prospect? And your answer was that Georgia kid, and I could drop like 5 names in a row, and you could go, no, not that one, and I would not be done having options for you. It's obscene. So of the big three, Georgia defensive linemen / edges, pick one for me. There's not a wrong answer, guys. Type DW for Devonte Wyatt, JD for Jordan Davis, or TW for Travon Walker. This is the pinned comment on today's video, so head down there and let me know. All right, last defensive tackle I want to mention here. Had it not been for Jordan Davis, we'd be talking a lot more about Travis Jones. When you are 325 pounds and you run a sub 4.95 at 4.92 to be exact, that's awesome. Shout out Travis Jones for doing pretty much all the drills. A lot of people skipped the bench this year because, they just didn't. It was on the same day. They didn't want to get themselves tired out. Awesome production here from Jones. If you can't get Jordan Davis in round 1, Travis Jones in round 2 would be an awesome selection. Records were also set at the edge rusher group. Amari Barno, who had just a handful of sacks last year for Virginia Tech, set the fastest 40-yard dash among defensive ends in Combine history, a 4.36, while weighing 246 as well. It's awesome. It's funny. I was sitting there holding my baby, doing all the Combine moves I put out at What Going Downey, and I went, oh, Barno, I'm not too worried about that one. And then he runs a 4.36. I'm like, well, take the baby, MK. Time for me to get this video out there. Obscene production from this entire edge rushing group. It's pretty damn nutty. Good news, everyone. NFL Daily is now also available on Rumble, another video platform where they don't mind it if I say, oh shit, to open up the video. YouTube, sometimes they get a little mad at me. Help support us over there as well. Uncensored versions, by the way. The link is below, rumble.com/NFL Daily. We'll put it in the comments in the description as well. Let's talk about the top 2 edges now. Kayvon Thibodeaux, then Aiden Hutchinson. Thibodeaux's athletic testing was pretty much as expected. Great bench press, good size, 6'4", 254. Not the longest of arms, but long enough. 4.5, 840s, awesome numbers as well. The concerns for Thibodeaux, fair or not, are not going to be answered by the testing. Now, he did not do the drills, saying he wanted to do it with the defensive end and linebacker drills at his pro day, which, okay, he could have done that there. And there are NFL teams that are worried about more of the person, the ego, the effort. Look, he's a fantastic athlete. I'm not that concerned on Thibodeaux, for compared to other prospects out there. I'd still take this guy top 5. Aiden Hutchinson, next up here, the edge rusher out of Michigan. I was surprised to see that people were concerned about his athletic ability. He's not. He's a great athlete. Now, his arms were shorter as expected, but he's almost 6'7", 260, and he had a 6.73 three-cone drill. Now, this was not as low as Michigan had said it was going to be. It's okay. It's still a record-setting number for a pure defensive end. He's an awesome athlete. Is he at times a little bit stiff on tape? Sure, but he's my number 1 edge rusher this year. So pick one. I think it's a matter of preference. Both these guys, I think, are great prospects. So draft one for me. KT for Kayvon Thibodeaux, AD for Aiden Hutchinson. We told you guys Boye Mafe out of Minnesota was going to test well. He ran with the linebackers for some reason. Amongst the defensive ends, where he will be playing in the NFL, oh boy. Great vert, great broad, great 40-yard dash as well at 6'4", 261. Not the longest of arms, but he tested like an elite athlete. He's going to go, despite maybe not the best film, the athletic ability is something you always bet on. He is going to be a top 60-ish pick. Time for my guy, Dominique Robinson. If you've watched our Sleepers video a couple months ago, I mentioned him out of my alma mater. He is an insane athlete, folks. That's very common this year at the Combine. 6'5", 253, began his career as a receiver at Miami. A 41-inch vert at 253 is just absurd. Awesome broad, great 40-yard dash, explosive player. He is still raw. You can't put him out there against as a run defender right now. He's discount David Ajabo. That's what Dominique Robinson is this year. Still raw as a pass rusher and overall player. He should go top 100. You bet on athleticism every single day. Some other top edges, because I can't be here for 45 minutes like we could do just on these guys. Sam Williams out of Ole Miss. Got to touch the off-the-field stuff, but he tested great. Jermaine Johnson ran with the linebackers. Very gifted edge rusher. Nick Bonita ran with the defensive lineman for some stupid reason, but he tested great. And David Ajabo, the other Michigan edge. I think these guys, Ajabo round 1, Johnson round 1, Williams day 2, Bonito day 2-ish as well. We're not done yet with the Combine winners, but I want you to drop a name for me. Who was your Day 3 Combine winner or winners? If you want to put multiple names in the comments, I won't be mad at it at all. The linebackers, stop me if you've heard this before. Penn State's got themselves a freak. Yeah, that's what Brandon Smith is. Now, we like to use the relative athletic scores from @MathBomb on Twitter. He had Boye Mafe at linebacker. If you do not include Mafe at linebacker, Brandon Smith becomes the 10, the best testing linebacker in Combine history. 6'3.5", 250 pounds, great in the vert, great in the broad, awesome 40-yard dashes. The athlete, we knew how special he was. Now it's a matter of figuring out, okay, does he have the instincts? Does he have the impact at the position? I like him as an athlete. Football player, I still got work to do, but again, you always bet on the athletes. Leo Chanel was one of my guys. I had a second-round grade on him from the film, so he's actually not going to move up that much in my rankings, but he will for others because, oh my, he tested great. 6'2", 250. This is a Patriots linebacker through and through. 6'2.5", 250. Great explosion in the vert and the broad and the 40. Did not do the agility drills. Not many people did this year because they just get tired at the end of the day. There's a lot going on for that long, long day for prospects. They'll do it at his pro day, I would guess. The pass coverage is still a question mark. Downhill, north-south. That is where you want Leo Chenal, and that's where he's going to be as a dynamic run stopper in the NFL. Troy Anderson had a nice little Senior Bowl and continued that momentum at a Montana State at the Combine. It's another freak. It's absurd. 6'3.5", 243, a 4.42 out here running receiver numbers at linebacker size with awesome explosion. If you want just an awesome linebacker at some point this year, Anderson might not go until like round 3 at this level because there's so many good linebackers this year. Another potential, I think, round 3 pick, Channing Tindall out of Georgia. Of all of the impressive SEC linebacker testers, Tindall had the best, and I knew he was fast. This confirmed it. The vert at 42 inches is obscene, by the way, but the instincts are not quite there. So that's why he might fall to day 3. He needs more time. This another Georgia guy. Defense was obscenely good this year. We're not done yet with the winners, by the way, at least not quite yet. If you want the best coverage on YouTube, subscribe. It is 100% free here at Chat Sports. We'll be live for the entirety of the NFL Draft. We'll have grades coming out after the rounds end as well. So if you haven't already, subscribe. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. I want to get to some of the other top linebacker testers here as well, because there were several other impressive players. Chad Muma. Let's talk Devin Lloyd, then we'll talk the other linebacker testers. Devin Lloyd, the 40-yard dash came in at 4.66. The unofficial was 4.7. That was viewed as a bit of an issue. People didn't love that necessarily. Testing's still really good. I think the Darius Leonard comparisons remain pretty apt from that standpoint. I thought he was faster than that on film. I will make note that Nakobe Dean did not test. It's okay. He didn't really need to test. Overall, I don't think, if you like Lloyd coming in, this should not change your mind. So pick linebacker 1 for me. DL for Devin Lloyd or ND for Nakobe Dean. All right, the other top linebacker testers I wanted to mention. All these guys were awesome. 3 SEC kids. Quay Walker, Damone Clark, Christian Harris, and like a 4.4 or something, 4.43 or 4.44. Chad Muma tested great. Like all these players, that's a lot of linebackers. All these guys should be top 100 picks. You're looking at 8 linebackers, 10 linebackers worthy of going top 100. That's a bit unusual in the NFL draft. All right, Devin Lloyd wasn't a winner or loser, and neither is Myjai Sanders. He showed up at just 228 for the weigh-in as an edge rusher, which is profoundly small. A 4.67 40-yard dash, which is not good for his size. He lost 14 pounds since the Senior Bowl, and the initial reaction was, what is going on here? Is he sick? The answer is yes, he was sick, battling a stomach bug, couldn't really keep food down, hence explains the 14-pound weight loss, but he still battled. Now, the pro day will matter a lot more for Sanders now than it would have had he been healthy, or at least not ill, but I give him credit for battling and competing at the Combine. George Karlaftis, one of the guys I wanted to see. Now, he did not run the 40. Okay, interesting. But he did do everything else. Now, his bench was not what I was expecting, but the explosion numbers, the vert, the broad, were awesome for a player of his size. I do think he cut a little bit of weight, by the way, to run a little bit faster. He was listed at more 275, which I thought about was what he played at. The arm length was shorter than expected, but he can convert speed to power pretty decently. So he was always going to be a top 32 guy for me. I just still don't quite know where I'm gonna slot him in the end. Probably around top 5 edge. Some losers now. Let's get to that side. How about some of the prospects not running? If you're injured, I get it. You know, if you got a foot issue, whatever, cool. But the way that everybody who is running is testing makes me wonder why you didn't test. Are you scared to compete? Or are you more worried that you weren't going to test very well? Which, that's probably what you should be doing if you're not going to test well. But it raises those questions. And with all the great athletes, if you don't test, kind of, out of sight, out of mind. These numbers are almost too good this year. So are they juiced? Are they a bit inflated to make the combine more appealing for the NFL? I'll make note that a lot of the unofficial times that scouts are still using, because teams don't use the official combine times, they use their own hand times, so it's consistent across pro days. I know it's kind of weird. Are they juiced, though? Those numbers aren't that different. Y for yes, N for no. All right, welcome to life. There are losers, people. Deal with it. Kingsley Enagbare out of South Carolina, or Enagbare. Not great. Under 6'3", 258. The 4.87 wasn't special. Had an awesome vert. Thought it was going to be a good day for Kingsley. As all these other edges flash, it's not bad testing. But compared to everybody else, it's just when you're nitpicking among your top 10, top 15 edges, that hurts him. DeMarvin Leal, as A&M fans think I hate them, which of course I don't, but it's not great out of DeMarvin Leal. Yes, he ran a 5 flat 40. That's a great time for a defensive lineman. It's only average-ish compared to his weight at 6'4"-ish, 283. The vert was bad. The shuttle was good. Leal was hyped as a top 10 pick entering this year, and the inconsistencies remain on tape. I was hoping he would measure in like a Devonte Wyatt, post awesome times, and kind of get his stock back up and running again. Instead, I don't think he goes round 1. I think he's more of a day 2 prospect, and that was on the film and kind of confirmed more or less at the combine. I want you now to name a day 3 combine loser. Be a hater. It's okay. It's okay to say a player didn't test well. Doesn't mean we hate them. Both Leal and Enagbare are still top 100 guys easy for me, but that means they didn't have a great combine. It's not the only element of the draft process, but it is a part of it. All right, Neil Farrell, who I was kind of high on relative to others. I knew he was not going to run that well, but he ran real bad. A big boy, 6'4", 330. But everything was really bad. Everything was like, you're talking 12th percentile or lower for the vert, for the 3-cone, for the 40-yard dash, the splits as well. He's a nose guard. That's what he's going to be. But there's a clear gap between like even him and like Travis Jones or even John Ridgeway out of Arkansas. One last loser, Josh Ross, the linebacker out of Michigan. Came in small, 6 foot, 227. And didn't run that great. A 4.79. The vert and the broad were pretty poor as well. Makes you wonder if Ross will end up getting drafted. Final day of the NFL Combine is here. It is Sunday, and I'll be posting Combine videos. I posted the Jordan Davis 40-yard dash. It made everyone go nuts. I got other ones coming up today, so hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney.